Hey, all right, back to indicator 6, and now we are in the actual learning target of dividing fractions. So before we get into the actual learning target, I can construct a fraction model to represent dividing by fractions, or I can calculate and explain quotients of fractions. Let's go through how to divide fractions, and then we'll get more in depth into that. Okay, so believe me, I am not a singer. I am not even going to attempt to sing what I've written on the board, because then every one of you is going to actually leave my virtual classroom. Believe me, I cannot sing for the life of me. Okay, so just put up a little, with the musical notes and all going on. You are welcome to try your own tune later on. I don't care. But here it is. Dividing fractions as easy as pie. Flip the second fraction, then multiply, and don't forget to simplify before it's time to say goodbye. So as you can see, it's telling me exactly what to flip the second fraction, then multiply. Okay, so the division has got to be converted to the multiplication. So most important thing, you've got to remember this term, what reciprocal means. And that's what flipping means. So if I say 2/3, the reciprocal of 2/3 is the flipped version, which is 3/2. And we had talked about the actual definition of reciprocal. When I take a number and I multiply it with its reciprocal, the product will be 1. So if I had taken these and I had done this, look, I'm going to simplify. 3 with 3, I get 1. 2 by 2, I get 1. And my product becomes 1. So that's what that actually means. But a reciprocal is nothing but the flipped version of a number. So if I say, if I give you a whole number, for example, if I say 4, what is the reciprocal? Well, a whole number can always be written as a fraction like this, 4/1. So we know the reciprocal of 4/1 would be 1/4. Okay, reciprocal of 8/11 would be 11/8. So it's basically nothing but you're just flipping the fraction, and that's what reciprocal means. Okay, so now let's go on to dividing fractions. And if I give you 1/6 divided by 2/3, okay, flip the second fraction, then multiply. Remember that. Okay, so here are the steps. Number 1, leave the first number alone. Don't do anything to it. It just comes down as is. So leave the first number alone. Change the division to multiplication, and flip the second fraction. So this is very, very important. So you don't forget the steps. So look what I just said. Leave the first number alone. That means I bring it down just as is. Don't touch it. Just bring it down as it is. Leave it alone. Change the division. Change the division to multiplication. Flip the next fraction. So 2/3 will become 3/2. And then now we are to the exact same lesson of multiplying fractions. Okay, so we are going to see what can I simplify from the numerator to the denominator. I see 3 and 6 have common. Do not try to simplify 6 with 2. That's at the same level, same denominator. You cannot simplify. You can only simplify from the numerator to the denominator. Okay, so 3 and 6 are both divisible by 3. So 3 divided by 3 gives me 1. 6 divided by 3 gives me 2. All right, now it's pretty simple. 1 times 1 and over 2 times 2, and I get 1/4 is my product when I multiply these two fractions over here. But I'm starting off with division. Please remember that. And so we start with leave, change, flip. So when I divide that and then I change it to multiplication, I finally get this answer. Okay, let's try another one. And let's say I give you 3/4 divided by 9/10. Okay, so remember, leave, change, flip. So bring the first fraction down as is, change the division to multiplication, flip the second number. 9/10 would become 10/9. Now, once I have this, please look at what, I mean, you're welcome to do, 3 times 10, 30, 4 times 9, 36, and then you are simplifying from there. But that's like, when we can do it really quick and easy. So I can see that I have two numbers that can be simplified because 3 and 9 have common factors, greatest common factor, which I can use. And 10 and 4 also have greatest common factor, which I can use to simplify those numbers, okay? So this is like actually saying, if I take 3 and 9, since both are divisible by 3, I could have done this, and then I would get 1/3. So look what I'm going to do. Like, instead of doing it this way, basically, I'm just taking it straight up over here. This is 1/3. So I just simplified. Okay, then I have 10 and 4. So if I take 10/4, both are divisible by 2 because they are even numbers, and 10 divided by 2 is 5 and 4 divided by 2 is 2. So basically, this is what I'm doing, 5/2. So instead of writing it out like this, I am straight up simplifying over here. Okay, now once that is done, I am into my step of multiplication now. So I do 1 times 5/2 times 3, and my division problem, my answer, the quotient is going to be 5/6. Okay, so this is how we solve it. Again, this is the most crucial thing to remember. Okay, let's do mixed numbers now, dividing mixed numbers. And this is the one where I see common mistakes, so we can't do that. All right. Okay, so if I give you 3 and 5/6 divided by 1 2/3. All right. Before you do anything, because if you do not do this step, guaranteed you are going to make a mistake. Okay. So first thing, just like in multiplication, change your mixed number to improper fractions, because we are talking about dividing and multiplying fractions, not adding or subtracting. Okay, so 3 times 6 is 18 plus 5, and that gives me 23/6. Okay, so this is multiplication, this is addition. Same thing over here. Leave the division right now, so that, because that is going to be the next step. Okay, first step is converted to an improper fraction. So 1 times 3 is 3 plus 2, and that gives me 5/3. All right, now once I have it in the improper fraction form, now I start the leave, change, flip. But don't make the mistake, because sometimes people just change this to multiplication and then leave it as 5/3, and then that's where the error begins. So this second step is very important. Okay, and now you go around and do 23/6, leave, change to multiplication. Now you flip. Okay, so I'm telling you again, if in the second step you go ahead and change this to multiplication, you will guaranteed forget to flip your second fraction. All right, so now let's simplify. Anything from numerator to denominator? Yes, I can see 3, I can see 6. They are both divisible by 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 6 divided by 3 is 2. Okay, so now I don't see anything else with a common factor. So I am going to do 23 times 1 over 2 times 5. And I get 23 over 10. Now you can either leave it as an improper fraction in simplest form, or you can change this to a mixed number. And I know that 2 times 10 is 20. You will get 3 remainder, and here is your mixed number. Okay, and here is your mixed number. So remember, the key is to change that first step. Let's go ahead and do one last problem. Excuse me. All right, so if I have 7 3/4 divided by 2 2/3. All right, so once again, please remember, when you have mixed numbers, it is crucial for you to remember what you are supposed to do first before the leaf change flip. You are to convert these to improper fractions. So 4 times 7 is 28, plus 3 gives me 31/4. Leave the division right now. 2 times 3 is 6, plus 2 gives me 8/3. Okay, and so now that I have this, next we do the leaf change flip. So 31/4 times 3/8. Okay, now I can see that there is nothing that I can simplify, so I have to do 31 times 3/4 times 8. All right, and so this gives me 3 times 1 is 3, and 3 times 3 is 9, over 4 times 8, which is 32. Okay, and then you can leave it either like this, or you can change it to a mixed number, and you will get 2 and 29 over 32. Okay, so 2 and 29 over 32 will be your answer. So I just basically, in order to get this, all I'm doing, I'm dividing the numerator by the denominator. Okay, so again, please remember, leaf change flip, or flip the second fraction, then multiply. But remember, if it's mixed numbers, you have got to convert them to improper fractions. That is the first step. In the second step, do not change the division unless you have completely changed both to improper fractions. And then you go ahead and do the leaf change flip. All right, and so now the next lesson is going to be fraction models. All right, have a nice day.